Before we look at the individual horses, a general point about the Belmont. Horses that run in the race after running their first two legs seldom run well, and not just the ones going for Triple Crown. And that's especially true if you take out Baffert, who is a special case. Horses that ran in the Derby and skipped the Preakness have done somewhat better. And there have been quite a few that have run well following an X in their most recent start, which is not true in the Derby. Some recent examples were Irish Warcry, Patch, Creator, Palace Malice, and Union Rags. Several of those poor efforts were on off tracks. Bourbon War jumped to a new top in January, and it took something out of him. He should have started moving forward again by now, and he's tough to like on just 3 weeks rest. Everfast jumped way up in the Preakness, a 4-point top that also represented 8 points of development from his 2-year-old top. To make matters worse, while he didn't run in the Derby, he ran on the undercard. So this will be his third start in 5 weeks. Intrepid Heart went forward second out, then backed up with some trouble last time. This guy looks too slow going in, but a couple of positive notes. First, the siblings and the dam herself were late developers. Second, Pletcher's horses have run well in the Belmont. We can see this colt running a new top and getting a piece of this. Jovia ran well off the layoff in February, but hasn't gotten any better since, and won a very weak race last time. He's too slow, and we don't like his pattern. Master Fencer jumped way forward in his American debut. Pairing up would make him a borderline contender, but a bounce is much more likely. Sir Winston broke through with a big top last time, but he's still too slow, and a bounce is likely. Spinoff had a couple of very wide trips in Louisiana and earned the best figure in the big one down there. He ran a stinker in the Derby slot, but now has 5 weeks rest and is trained by Pletcher, which is a plus here. This colt starts out as a borderline contender on number power, but is exactly the kind that jumps up in the Belmont. Tacitus improved dramatically in his first start at 3 with the addition of Lasix, then moved forward in the wood. He paired up in the slop in the Derby, where he earned a better figure than Maximum Security after adjusting for ground loss. This is the pair of tops pattern that works so well in the Derby. Mott's Belmont runners have run well, so Tacitus is the fastest horse with the best pattern, and a trainer knows how to do this. He's clearly the horse to beat and the most likely winner. Tax exploded with the addition of Lasix when Gargan got him, and basically returned to that level in the wood. We don't know what to make of the Hamlet Act about whether or not to run. Coming off the non-effort, this is the kind that often runs well in the Belmont, and he's fast enough for it to matter if he fires. War of Will had a great pattern before the wheels came off in the Louisiana Derby. He had trouble to move forward in Kentucky, then got back to his top in the Preakness. He won that day because of a great ground-saving ride by Gaffleon. 4 other horses earned figures as good or better. There's nothing wrong with this pattern except that it will be his third start in 5 weeks. War of Will could certainly win, but he's not that fast, and between the Derby trouble and the not as good as it looked Preakness, he will be overbet. Since he also may not fire, and there are several others we like, we're going to try to beat him. It will be interesting to see how the riders of the 2 favorites handle the outside draws in the Belmont, but Tacitus is still definitely the one to beat. We're interested in both Spinoff and Tax, especially the former, who gets a rider change at Castellano. There are a lot of slow horses in this year's Belmont. The only other ones we would at all consider using in exotics would be Intrepid Heart and War of Will, and only with the long shots we like.